Hello, class. CCNA I class from CIS 270. All right, today is January 16th, Tuesday, January 16th, and we did not have class today because campus was closed. So I'm going to go over a couple things that I would likely have went over in class on this recording here. I'll try to keep it where it's not too terribly long. So let me share my screen here with you. All right, what comes up here is packet tracer for 1.05. I'll show you guys how I got there. All right, so based on the schedule, 1.05 is the very first here it is. Okay, 1.05 is the first assignment due here, so that's the one I'm starting with. So I went to the course, I clicked on course content, and I went to 1.05, and I downloaded the packet tracer, which is the one with this little arrow pointing down. There's also a list of the instructions here, but those are also built into the packet tracer, so I didn't really need to download those for my purposes. We'll bring the packet tracer back up. And we're kind of just going through this here. Now, I've had more than one student reach out and ask, how do you answer the questions that are built into this? Best thing I can suggest is to create a little document and just type the answers of questions. I'll give you an example here. Let's just say we're going to use WordPad, just something simple, right? You can use Word if you want. Somewhere along the way here, there's a question that says, if you weren't with, let's see, where's, let's scroll through here. I think D, so part 2D, there is a question that needs to be answered. So I'm just simply going to do this. So this is 1.0.5, and then we're going to say part 2D. All right, the answer. Question is, below the router are two switches. These switches provide wired connections to connect. So what they're wanting us to do is take a look in here inside this branch office. Inside here, and we see below this router there are two switches, and it's asking us what is connected to router ALS2, right? So you can actually, from here, you can actually look at these cables, and it'll show you the devices connected to it. But you can also take over here up to this, switch to logical mode, and it'll show you right here. So ALS2's got a web server and an access point. Right, so I'm just going to say web server. All right, so I'm keeping up with this along the way, these answers. Right. So that when I okay. All right, so now I've got the answer, one of the answers that, so anything that needs to have a physical answer that's not part of the configuration or exploration of this, just type it like this. So in the end, whatever packet tracer file you submit, also just submit your little document along with it, and then you've got yourself covered. All right. So we were supposed to explore these things here that led us up to this point, section D. All right. So and we went in and so we can switch between physical and logical here. So right now we're physically looking at the rack inside the building in Seward. Switch to logical mode, which device is connected to access point. So it's ALS2. So that would be another question. E would be another question. All right, so ALS2 is connected to that access point because vice versa, and probably, let's just take a look at there's also laptop 1. That might be the better answer. All right, so we're making all kind of progress here. Okay, what else we got going on here? We've got switch to physical mode. All right, we're going to go back to the branch office wiring closet. Here we are. Where is the device connected to access point physically located? All right, so we're at the wiring closet. So where are they physically located? They're physically located in the Seward office, right? Let's just go back one here. They're in the branch office in Seward. So that's actually F. Probably help if I could type better. Okay, now we're going on to part 3. Which device can be connected? Devices can be connected in a variety of ways. For example, for our network connectivity, devices are typically connected using either a copper straight-through cable or wirelessly. For management connectivity, devices are typically connected either using console cable or a USB cable. There's a note here. Packet Tracer will grade the rest of this activity. At any time, you can click the check results at the bottom of the task, then click assessment item to see which items you have not completed. So I want you to notice down here at the bottom of this, there's this check results button here, and there's this percentage completed right here. So we're actually looking for that. We're looking to get that at 100%, right? So it wants us to investigate through the cable pegboard. So we're going to go back to the branch office, and we're going to go back into this, and we've got our cable pegboard right here. This is actually kind of, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see everything. There's our pegboard. We've got our straight throughs. We've got our console. We got our, let's see, where's this one here? Console, coaxial, USB cable. So we got it all. Even got some fiber jumpers. Holding the cursor over it shows what those are. So we're going to switch to logical mode now. See, the cable representations are different here. So you just notice how they're not as easy to identify, other than knowing the type of interfaces that these might connect to. All right, so we're going to go back to physical mode, and we're going to click a copper straight-through cable from the pegboard. All right, so I've got it. Notice my cursor changed. We're going to float our mouse over PC 1 until we get to the fast Ethernet pop-up. We're going to click. With the copper straight-through cable still selected, we're going to select the fast Ethernet port 0 to connect to the cable. So we did. It's highlighted in green now. All right, so step E, connect the other end of the cable to ALS switch by clicking an empty fast Ethernet port. The cable should now be dangling between PC1 and ACL. So it wants us just to pick an open port on ALS2. So now you see the cable actually making that connection between the two. Gave us 16% completion right there. So that's good. PCs and laptops can also be connected to networking devices using a console cable or a USB cable. All right, so we're going to click a console cable from the cable pegboard, which is one of these here. We're going to click the RS-232 on the PC. And then it wants us to, we're going to float our mouse over the edge router and find the console port. So we're going to, there's the console port. So we made that connection. You can right click on this and do a closer view if you need to. But it worked for us this way, so we're in good shape. We're going to, all right, so we're going to click the console port on the right. So we did, we connected it. So part 4, so we're up to 33%. Part 4, we're going to install a backup router. All right, newer models of networking devices can be accessed through a USB port for management configuration. This is necessary because newer laptops and PCs typically do not include RS-232 port for console cable connections. So we're going to investigate the shelf. Here, let's zoom back out here. So here's our shelf over here, all our different stuff. We've got the different connection, different devices over here. So it wants us to click and drag the backup router to an empty slot on the rack. So which one of these is the backup router? Let's see. There's a backup router here. This bottom shelf, or near the bottom shelf. All right, I'm going to take this, I'm going to open it, drop it over into the rack. All right, it does might note here some devices are not automatically powered up when they're installed. Click the backup router and inspect rear to find the power button. All right, we clicked it there, the green light came on, so that's good. On the cable pegboard, we're going to choose the USB cable and we're going to return to the rear view of the backup router. All right, so let's we'll go over to the pegboard. Let's see, where is that? We're going to pick the USB cable. And then we're going to go here to the rear. Zoom in a little bit. I lost my USB. You guys probably can see a little better than I can, I hope, because it'll make it easier if you can. All right, we're going to connect this to connect to the USB port. We'll find it here. Thought I picked the right cable. Let me go back and look. Oh, here it is. Sorry. That was not it. Okay, so there's the USB connection. Then we need to make the connection to the right computer. Let's see. Connect other than USB cable to either of the USB ports on laptop 1. So we got laptop 1. I'll go with USB 0. All right, so now we've got a physical connection from the laptop up to the backup router console connection using a USB. Brings us to about 83% here. That wants us to go to the laptop 1 to the terminal, and it wants us to do some configuration. All right, so we're going to this. We're going to go to desktop, terminal. Going to accept the defaults, and here we are. We're going to say no to this initial configuration dialog. We're at the router prompt now. All right, so from here, see all this stuff ran. We said no. All right. It wants us to enable configure mode. It wants us to give it this command here. And we're just going to end that. Now we see we have we've changed the host name, and so it shows our prompt differently than before. That also lists us at 100% complete for this packet tracer. So you want to save the packet tracer because you finished it. And you also want to check the results. And you want to take a screen snip of this so you can submit it as completed. So I would submit this along with my any answers that I need to put in my document here. I've got that saved. All right, I'm going to take my screenshot. I want my screenshot to include this completion along with this area up here at the top. Yes. But you guys see this right here. See this area right here. You don't have to circle it like this, but anything that you include as a snip should include the actual exercise, right? So I'm going to save this to the desktop. Doesn't matter what you call it, you're going to submit it to the right spot. We're going to go here to Blackboard, Netacad submissions. Go to module 1, 1.05, and we're going to upload the files that we want to do for this. The desktop, I got this one. I've got two different files here I want to submit. I want to submit those answers and that screenshot, right? And submit. Boom. All right, so I get an information that weren't saved because I'm the instructor. It doesn't let me submit stuff. That's what you would do. Now, seems pretty straightforward to me. Hopefully that seems straightforward to you. You'll do the same thing with the other assignments. If you have any answers you need to submit outside of what the actual packet tracer calls for, then just type them up on a document. Same thing would be true for any labs or anything else. You got to just read between the lines, think outside the box, whatever it takes. The point is that you do the work and that you learn from it. I think that's all I got for you today, and see you next week.